Hello, friends. My name is Carol Baldwin. I'm coming to you from Matthews, North Carolina, where I'm sitting on my porch. It's one of the places that I really like to write. My debut young adult historical novel, Half Truths, is coming out in April of 2025 from Monarch Educational Services. I've been on the path of getting this book out into the world for 17 years. That's how long it took me to write and find a publisher and getting it out to the world. So I want to share with you some of the things that have worked for me and what I have learned along the way. First of all, I want to tell you about another book I wrote a long time ago called Teaching the Story, Fiction Writing in Grades 4 through 8. The reason I'm sharing that one is not because you're in grade 4 through 8, but because the fact that I wrote that book, now I teach writing workshops based on that same information. And one of the writing workshops I teach in libraries is on getting published. So what I'm sharing with you is what I've shared with other people also. So the first thing we're going to assume is that you have written something, either an article, a short story, a poem, or a book that is well crafted. We're going to assume that you have already done that piece of work, which is a very important piece of work. But the next thing that you want to think about is reading other books in your genre or magazine articles that are about the same thing or for the same audience. And we're going to talk a little bit more about audience later. But that is one of the ways that you're going to find a publisher. For example, if you've written a children's poem, well, you're going to look at Highlights Magazine or Cricket Magazine. And it is really important when you look at these mentor books or articles that you see the way in which they have been written. Now, this is part of your writing process for sure. Considering word count and paragraphing and dialogue and characterization and setting, all those things will help you improve your own writing, as well as you will see where other people have published similar works. That might be the publisher that you want to find. So that's the first thing, is reading current books and articles in your genre. Second, you're going to write well what you are passionate about. And that is something that was brought home to me by someone in the publishing industry when I was bewailing the fact that I don't write horror or science fiction or fantasy, which is typically what young adults or upper middle grade readers read. And that's the target audience for me. And this person said to me, Carol, write what you're passionate about, because that will show through in your writing. And the publisher will see that in your writing too. So make sure that the topic that you're writing about is something that you are clearly very passionate about. When you're finding a publisher, the third step is to know your audience. You're not going to be querying a hunting magazine, for example, if you have written a cute poem about your pet poodle, unless that pet poodle also happens to be a great birding dog. But again, you need to see, does that hunting magazine publish poetry? So knowing your audience, knowing who is going to read what you have written, will shape finding the correct publisher. It'll save you time and save the publisher from being frustrated by you sending a query or your manuscript to someone who really isn't interested in or doesn't publish what you have written. And fourth, publishers are looking for authors who are active on social media and support other authors. So fourth, you want to help other writers. You want to share their accomplishments. You want to shout them out on Twitter and Facebook. You want to show that you are a person who is active in the writing community. And another way you can do that is also to help writers who may, believe it or not, know even less than you do. So whatever you can share about what you have learned in your writing and publishing journey can help another person. And publishers want to see that in the authors that they sign. And fifth, but very, very important, is don't hit send too soon. make sure that your manuscript is perfect and as ready as possible. Let it sit overnight at least. Print it out, read it out loud, give it to somebody else who can thoughtfully and critically take a look at your work and make sure that it is ready for publication. Again, a publisher is interested in your best work. They don't have time to frequently, they don't have time to edit. They want something that is ready to go. So those are 5 tips on getting published. You want to read current books or articles in your genre. You want to write what you're passionate about. Know your audience. Help other writers, and don't hit send too soon. I am Carol Baldwin, and I am excited to share these 5 publishing tips with you. You can find me at carolbaldwinbooks.com. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.